Hello, welcome to my cake kitchen. I am Gladys, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. Let's tap it to our friend in the chat. What are we doing today? We're just going to jump right in. As you can see, I have different sorts of stuff here. What do we do with this? We're talking all things sugar. In my hand, I have a selection of sugar. So if you've just like landed onto this video, what we're doing is we're talking all things sugar. Sugar in baking cakes, okay? Over here, I am a cake maker primarily. So we're going to be making cakes all the time over here. But today we're getting into the boring subject of the science of baking. And I'm going to be taking the main ingredients that we use for baking on this channel. The subject can be very broad because baking is a broad subject, and there are items on the baking list that exist on a broad spectrum. I'm not going to be able to cover that. More so, I am not a scientist, okay? I am just a baker, and I am aware of how some of the ingredients do affect baking, and I'm just going to present you some simplified understanding of some of the ingredients, what you should look out for, because this video is targeted at an audience who just want to have a basic understanding of ingredients and how they interact with each other, helping you to get great results. So are you going to be a scientist at the end of this video? No. Are you going to be able to understand sugar at its base level and know what choices you should make to enhance your baking results? Perhaps yes. That is the objective. Unfortunately, I made an order for some other different types of sugar that didn't come in. If I had to go to my local Tesco to pick some more, I'd be running too late for the class, and I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to whiz through some of these which are not here today, but in later videos you should be able, I should make reference to that. And I'm hoping that by the end of this series, I will be able to compile this information in one video for you to go and have a look at. But I will be updating more of this information about what we discussed in the community post, just to make for convenience. So if you see me for the first time, hello there. I'm Gladys. I love cake. I talk about cakes. I live the subject of cakes. So join me today whilst we educate and inform ourselves about the subject of sugar. And sugar, you will find, if you have no idea what it is about, sugar does a lot more than what you think it does in baking. We'll be jumping into the subject, but I'm going to get into the chat. There's Tapita, hello there, lovely. There's Delaney, darling. It is always great to have you for the short time that we can have you, my dear. How are you? I hope you are keeping well. And for the rest of you in the chat, hello there. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't be a passive observer of what we do here. We hope that you can try and be inspired. This is actually my home kitchen. I have baked a ton of cakes here, and I still continue to do. Have you checked on the channel? All the wonderful cakes have been undertaken right here in this kitchen. It's a very small kitchen. You know what? One day I'll show you. It's a small kitchen, but we make the most out of it. And the intention for the live is to invite you here so that you have a very unfiltered process of the baking and decorating forms, just so that you are inspired, because we can all do with a little bit of inspiration. And shall we all give it up to the British weather? It is looking great outside, albeit it might not last, but I'm excited. Talking about the weather is a British sport, okay? We enjoy it. So yeah, if you're just joining us today, do consider liking the video. But right now, there's 12 of you in the chat. The 12 of you who are in the chat, if you're watching on mobile, right, on the screen from which you can see me, on the top right corner, there are 3 dots there. If you tap on the dot, a drop down menu should show up with a thumbs up. Just like the video before we get into it, just so that YouTube is informed of your presence here. It is also a form of interaction, just so that we know whether you're liking it. But because this subject is very, very baking centered. Okay, it's baking. So let me know by hands, those of you who enjoy baking, minus Tapita and Lady Lately. Both of you have been baking long before I've been on planet Earth, and this is going to be an interactive subject. Okay, Cookie, if you have £100 to give me, just donate it to the channel. Okay, if you go if you go into the if you go into any of my videos and you go into the description box, there's a link that says support the channel. I don't talk about money or anything here, but since you will give me £100 just so I can show you my kitchen, go and put it go and support the channel with that, okay, so that we can buy equipment and do other things. Look, YouTube monetization, YouTube basically doesn't pay me to do this, okay? I do this because I enjoy baking, and this is for us to grow. So if you can support us, but no, there's a reason why I can't show you my kitchen, because it's so small. It is very small, okay? And it's not because I can't show you because it's small, it's because it's also cluttered. That's the truth, okay? Hiya, thank you though. Let's just move on. So if you're not Lady Lately, hiya darling. Lady Lately and Tapeta have been baking long than I have been on planet Earth, okay? So this is going to be an interactive video. Show by hands if you have baked before, okay? If you've baked a cake, a cookie before, put up a hand, like as in the hand emoji in the chat, so that we know that you've baked before, because I'm not going to do this sugar business alone. It's a boring subject, but it's important for you to learn, to know, so that you can get some baking results. So give me a hand in the chat. It will be the usual culprits, okay? It will be Tapita, who's been baking more than I've been alive, and yet I am older than her. I don't know how the maths work. And there is Lady Lately, yeah, the two people. Cookie, I know you don't judge, darling. Cookie, you know what? Let's not push it. Let's just keep baking. Cookie, let me tell you. Well, Cookie, let's move on. I'm just saying, show by hands those of you who have baked. There's just the two of you, okay? Tapita and I know, Tapita, you did. That's why you're so good at it, okay? Tapita, okay, so Tapita and Lady Lately. Cookie, you're a cookie, okay? Are you a monster cookie or something else? Cookie, let's get to class, okay? Cookie, pick up a pen and a paper. Cookie, do you like to bake? Have you baked before? Let us know what cookie you're up to. Have you baked yourself? As in, have you baked a cookie? Right, whilst we're at it, people, let's get to class. Now, Tapita and, oh, you're a Minecraft. Okay, Tapita and Lady Lately. Since you two have been baking longer than I have been on planet Earth, don't cheat. Here's a question. Tell us, what do you think sugar, what are some of the functions of sugar in baking? Leave your answers in the chat. And please don't cheat, okay? Please don't cheat. Don't Google anything. Just on top of your head, what do you think sugar does in baking? I'm just waiting to see their answer, and then we will jump into the subject of all things sugar in baking. Cookie says, Cookie in the chat. Cookie is our new friend in the chat, and Cookie says she's stale now. Well, Cookie, it might just be the case that you don't have much sugar in you, because if you have a little more sugar, you probably won't be that stale. So maybe get in a bit more sugar, Cookie, okay? Taste and texture, true. Taste and texture, that's Lady Lately. Anita, activities. Okay, right. Anita is answering the functions of sugar. Anita says it gives us sweetness. Lady Lately says it gives us taste and texture. Tapita, where are you? You've been baking for Jesus. You cannot know what sugar does. Come on, Tapita, where are you? activate yeast, tapeta, provides sweetness to what you're baking. Depending on what the baking, you're baking, bigger sugar crystals helps to break the batter down to, wow, class, I am so proud of you, huh? Right. It seems like we all have a fair idea what sugar does in baking. So on top of my table here, we have muscovado sugar. There is dark muscovado sugar. There is light muscovado sugar. There is light brown sugar. I have dark brown over there somewhere. There is icing sugar. There is coconut sugar. And there is granulated sugar here. This is just granulated sugar. I wanted to bring the sugar in all its forms because if you're in the chat, besides caster sugar, muscovado sugar, the sugars here, put in the chat what kind of sugar you find accessible at your place. Because whilst we're talking about the subject of sugar, okay, right. So in the chat, thank you. I will be asking some more questions for you to put in there. But generally, as you have said, we know sugar adds sweetness. But let's just get to the basics of sugar. Sugar contains the molecules of what sucrose that is available in most plants, but it's primarily more in beets and cane. Okay, so the two types of sugar you are likely to find is sugar made from, as in the sugar you find is likely to be made from beet sugar or cane sugar. So for instance, in the UK, Tate and Lyle will write on the labeling clearly cane sugar. One is not better than the other. They are all the same structurally. That's about how much the science of sugar and what it means stops, okay? The rest of it, we're going to make it rather simplistic. The functions of sugar in baking is very wide-ranging, but generally we can all agree, as you've added in the chat, that sugar adds sweetness. Yes, sugar adds sweetness because this stuff here is quite sweet, and the whole idea of cake is that cake is sweet. Now, last time I had a call from a friend to the channel who said a customer of theirs wanted a piece of cake and naturally just told them the cake was too sweet and that they wanted the sugar in the cake reduced. That is a specific request because when a customer is requesting low levels of sugar, the first thing that you should want to answer is whether there is a specific dietary requirement there, i.e. whether they're diabetic and they're looking to reduce the sugar content in their cake overall, or it's a taste preference. The taste preference is that we all have varying levels and tolerance to taste, okay? I personally, surprisingly, even though I'm a cake maker, I do not like overwhelming sweetness. I can just about tolerate it. Whereas I know people in my life who can dig into a bowl of, say, cookie with ice cream, with extra sauce, like they can actually tolerate sugar. For instance, a bar of chocolate. I can do a bar of milk chocolate, just about the small cube things, about one or two. I know somebody who can gobble a whole pack of chocolate. So we all have varying levels of sweetness and our tolerance to sweetness. So if someone wants to reduce their sugar in a cake, it is either they're looking to reduce the amount of sugar just so that they can tolerate it better, or for dietary reasons or health reasons, they have to. You have to establish the intention there. And the answer to actually reducing sugar is not very straightforward. It's not a case of, oh, if I have an amount of sugar here and you do not like too much sugar, I should reduce the sugar just so that the cake is less sweet. And that goes back to the functions of sugar in baking. So we know it adds sweetness, but some of the functions of sugar in baking is that it also adds flavor. Now, that is not so much for granulated and caster sugar, because granulated or caster sugar is what you will say gives you a rather basic and flat taste, because then it allows other flavors to be absorbed and doesn't have like complexity. Whereas if you swap from granulated or caster to any of these sugars, I'll put this away for a minute, to any of these sugars ranging from muscovado, dark brown, light brown sugar, all the sugars that have extra either unrefinedness or molasses in it, you intensify the flavor. So sweetness is general, but flavor is limited to the more intense sugar options rather than our caster or granulated sugar. In that vein, sugar also tenderizes in baking. In that way, sugar is able, it has a property where it is able to retain moisture. The retention of moisture and the explanation of it is rather complex. But like I said, we are not doing the science of it. So in your research, you will find out sugar has a property that is scientifically noted as microscopic. I cannot pronounce it better, but some days I mix my words, okay? In that it is able to retain moisture. By retaining moisture, it is also able to inhibit the production of gluten, thereby helping to tenderize your cakes. So any baked good, in this cake that has sugar in it, has a more a more delicate texture and is better than any that does not have sugar in it. Sugar also promotes browning and colorization in cakes. Depending on what sugar you use, the color is likely to be more intense, but generally, because sugar caramelizes, it also adds to the color that you get out of your baking of a cake. So for instance, if you have caster or granulated sugar, whilst it may caramelize to a slightly darker caramel brown, light brown looking crust, if you went for dark brown sugar or any of the sugars that are a little more unrefined or has molasses in it, you're likely to have a denser, a darker color to it. With that said, is there something you are learning from here about sugar that you probably didn't know before? Let's see what Tapeta is. Oh, okay. Cookie in the chat says she has sugar-free in... Oh, okay. Cookie says, okay, you have sugar-free in your family. Yes. So whilst we're talking about these kinds of sugar, there are also natural sugars and also sugar substitutes. We're not talking about that today simply because I am primarily a wholesome baker, like a baker who doesn't specialize in the non free items, if you know what I mean, like your gluten-free, sugar-free, and other free from bakes. I do not bake those, and there's reason for it. Whilst I aim to be very inclusive, the reason why I do not undertake that is because, like I said, my kitchen is small, and there is always a risk of cross-contamination. You know, you want to serve your customers better, you want to be inclusive, but sometimes circumstances doesn't allow it. So for that, I don't undertake free from bakes. So we are going to probably just not tackle the subject of, say, the natural sugars and the substitutions of those into regular sugars. I hope that kind of makes sense. So let's see. Whilst we're at it, you know who is missing in our chat today? Lollipop. Where is our Lollipop? Her daughter, it was her daughter's birthday yesterday. So yeah. Is Lollipop here? Oh, Lollipop. Okay, let's talk about let's continue the functions of sugar in baking, and then we can do some more talking over here. But yes, so whilst we're talking, the functions of sugar in baking are sweetness, flavor, enhances caramelization and color in baking. It tenderizes, sugar tenderizes. Sugar also adds to the structure building process of a cake, enhancing the structure of a cake. And that is if we consider creaming. Creaming of a cake, the creaming method in cake making, you've seen me undertake that. That is one of the methods for deriving a batter cake, where you cream, you mix the sugar and butter or solid fat together for a few minutes at room temperature before adding your additional ingredients. The formative stage of creaming, which is mixing the sugar and butter together, is critical to the structure formation of your cake, in that it helps to build air pockets, which then expands by trapping in gases when the cake goes to bake. So sugar forms an integral part of the structure building process, thereby also enhancing the texture and structure of the cake. Okay, so say it with me. Oh, Delaney, you're back. So say it with me. So far in the chat, can we go back to actually naming the functions of sugar in baking? We know it adds sweetness. We know it enhances flavor. We know it promotes browning. We know it adds to the structure building and tenderness of a cake. What other things do you think sugar does here? If there's anything I have missed, put it in the chat. Whilst with the Lollipop, welcome back. We want to hear all about your panda cake, darling. Right, Lollipop. SJH. Hi there. Welcome to our chat here. And Cookie. Right. Lollipop. God. You know what I'm looking for, people? Yeah, I'm looking for a tissue, because my nose is itchy, right? So okay, Lollipop's, it was Lollipop's oh, okay, Lollipop. The cake was what was the experience like? Okay, we want to hear. Okay, if you don't know what we're on about, we're talking to Lollipop, friend of the channel and also moderator of the channel. Lollipop's daughter had a birthday, and one of the things we did over here in the past week was the birthday her daughter wanted. We undertook the bake as a panda cake so that it becomes a learning resource for her to kind of look back on, to kind of undertake her baking and decorating of the cake. So we're asking Lollipop, having undertaken the entire process, because we baked the cake, but she ended up having to settle for a box mix for her carrot cake, and that is because the original carrot cake we undertook here was not the best outcome for us. So Lollipop, I think what I am curious to know was what your entire experience of the bake session was, whether what we did here became useful to you, and what progress you achieved. And because you did say that one of the things you want her to achieve, obviously you could have settled for a more simpler decorative option, but you wanted to go for the fondant panda bear cake simply because you wanted to challenge yourself to do something different that will yield you great results. So yeah, I'm just interested in kind of understanding what your experience was having undertaken the cake, first of all, and also having the learning resource as your guide to go through. Cookie, are we going to make cookies? No. You know what? The only reason why I am not making cookies is because when we are talking about a particular baking related subject, it can be a little bit overwhelming and intense, in that I am not able to engage. So talking you through all of this and then baking a cookie will mean that I will not be very present in the chat at all. And I think today I wanted to make a choice to be present in the chat with you guys. But as the subject of sugar is developing, I know in future I'll be back to kind of bake with the different types of sugars whilst we're on the subject. Yeah, so whilst we're at it, let's talk about the different types of sugar that we have. I mean, I have named some here. We have granulated sugar, which is a very common white sugar with larger granules. And next to it will be caster sugar, which is called superfine in some countries, right? I think in my research, I found out caster sugar is not readily available in all places in the US. Is that true? Tapita, fill us in on that. That is caster sugar. And in the UK, we don't just have caster sugar. There's golden caster sugar. I would like to bring all them sugar here to show you. Unfortunately, I made the order and it is not here. So I'm just going to show the ones we have, and then we are going to talk through that. So we have granulated sugar here, and the granulated sugar can be used interchangeably with caster sugar, except granulated sugar has bigger particles or granules, as in the crystals are larger compared to the superfine. Be careful not to mistake superfine sugar for icing sugar, which is also called confectioner's sugar. So all these sugars, these three types of sugars, are in similar category, but they are not the same thing. While caster sugar can be swapped for granulated sugar, it is always advisable to stick to the exact recipe requirements and ingredients noted. Now with that, we have dark brown sugar. I'm going to show you the dark brown sugar. I have it, but I'm just feeling a little bit. I've just started using the dark brown sugar. So we have dark brown sugar here, and we have light brown sugar. Now this is just sugar, refined sugar with molasses added into it, and the more intense it looks or darker it looks, the darker it looks, hence the name dark brown sugar. And the lighter it looks, why am I stumbling on my words? If it's lighter, the quantity of molasses is less, hence the light nature. And then if it's more and intense, you have dark brown sugar. Now we have muscovado sugar. Muscovado sugar here is it's unrefined, yeah. Muscovado sugar is unrefined sugar, which the more unrefined it is, the darker the results. And the lighter version is a little lighter. They look almost the same, but in texture, you can find, oh, should I actually open this? Muscovado sugar, if you look into it, has some dark particles, and its dark nature is relatively different from the dark brown sugar. Whilst they may look the same on the outside, they are slightly different to each other, right? And let's see. Okay, when I was talking to Tapita about caster sugar, Tapita is saying, let's see. Right. Let's find out what Tapita is saying to us about the sugar. Right. We'll get to the sugar in a minute. There is coconut sugar that is derived from palm sap. There is, I kind of feel like Demerara sugar and Turbinado sugar, because they are not here, I can't seem to talk about them much because I have nothing to show for it. But Turbinado sugar is partially refined sugar that has molasses in it. And Demerara sugar is raw sugar that has bigger particles. That is used generally for toppings on baked goods such as muffins and other things. So you know what? I kind of feel like maybe I should have waited for the entire products to come before I started this sugar subject. So yeah, that's lesson learned. I might just come back and talk you through more about the sugar and the subjects of it. Whilst we're at it, I know that in America, like I said in my research, it seems like caster sugar is not readily available. So people tend to take granulated sugar and then pulse it a little bit just so that they can get a finer granule to use. And my hope is that throughout this series as it develops, I will be able to come back and undertake a bake using each one of the sugar, and then we can be able to look and compare what the outcome of our bake is, right? But like I said, I will be posting more information on the discussion in the community post and also in the description box. So if you haven't joined us, do consider joining the channel, okay? Subscribe, it's free. We don't ask you for anything. Just come join the community. We are a happy bunch here, okay? Whilst we're at it, let's check in the chat. Tapita says they have granulated sugar, which is smaller than the regular. Oh, okay. Oh, fine granulated sugar. Okay. Let's say a hi to, is it koi? Koi, is it koi fish? Hi koi. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Tapita is saying there's fine granulated sugar, which is smaller than the regular granulated sugar. There's turbinado sugar over there, and you have light. So essentially you have it. Tapita, that's why you've been baking a lot, isn't it? So yes, there is fine granule. So the equivalent of caster sugar from the UK is, in America, is the fine granulated. So if my understanding is right, Tapita, you have granulated sugar, but you have then the fine granulated, which has smaller granules. Am I right in assuming that will then be the same as the caster sugar? Perhaps yes. Right. What am I missing in the chat? Because I was asking Lollipop about her experience of making the cake. So I'm just looking to catch it. Okay, Lady Lately was asking me a question in the chat. Good to go back. Lady Lately's sister was in a party and there were sugar pearls in the cake and she almost broke her tooth. She's asking, do you think bakers should add candy to the batter? You know what? It's not a straightforward answer because it depends on the baker or customer preference. If I'm baking a cake for me and I want candy, I'll put candy in because it's for me, okay? If a customer wants a cake that has crunchy candies in it and I can provide that, I will make it for them. So the answer is very nuanced. I'll explain. Whilst I think you can put whatever you desire in your cake, if you are serving the cake to other people, you have to think about those people and make an effort to mitigate some of the issues that will arise with the choices you make about your cake or baked goods. I will explain. With this pearl that was in the cake, perhaps Lollipop. Lady's sister wasn't expecting this crunch in her cake and nearly broke her tooth. It could be worse if these pearls were in a cake for children. It could be a choke hazard. Okay, so whilst I don't propose that there should be an all-right ban on things that people choose to have on or in their cake, it's important that when you are making the choice, you can think far ahead and make choices that will inform the eating experience of each individual. At least you can try. So for instance, I like crunch in my cake. I do. If you've been here, you've seen me add bits and bobs to my cake. But I say that and also have to remember that I am speaking from a place of privilege, which is that I am a cake maker. Okay, I have the extreme privilege of being able to make a cake the way I want it. I have an understanding of my baking processes and the choices I can make. I have contact with, if I was making a cake to a customer, I am able to speak to them directly, advise them, and make suggestions that will inform the outcomes of their cake. And I do that all the time just so that all other measures are taken to absorb any developing issues that may arise down the line, right? So yeah, if you've been on this channel long enough, you will know also that one of the things that I personally bang on about is the eating experience of a cake. A cake is not just any cake. If you want to buy a cake from your local supermarket, good for you. I'm not even mad about it. But if you're going to splurge on a custom cake, it is important that the eating experience from contact to the last slice is as best for you. So I do not see how you are enhancing the eating experience of anyone when you're trying to make them crack their tooth. Okay? At a certain age, when you crack your tooth, it is either irreplaceable or you cannot afford it. And I am not about that life. Okay? So I'm not going to say do it or not do it. But are you also going to be able to employ options or make informed choices that may mitigate issues? Because like I said earlier, never mind a broken tooth, it could be a child choking. And that's important. I think Lollipop, because you guys are chatting, I have probably missed. Okay. Okay, so Lollipop and the fondant. She said, I thought I should have moved the fondant over because it ended up draped too far on one side and I ripped the fondant. But I'd managed to smooth it down more. It wasn't perfect at the back. You know what? Lollipop, that's still okay. You got the job done. You got a nice hug. Your daughter was happy. And you must be proud of your effort. If you did this every day, by day 8, you will know all the hacks about fondant work. Okay? This is probably what? Is it the last cake you made? This is probably, let's say, the second time you have intensely undertaken. And kudos to you for the effort alone, okay? When you could have simply bought yourself a cake or chosen to bake a, let's say, a rustic non-fondant cake. You willed yourself and you took on the challenge and you showed up and you did it. You should be proud, my dear. Okay, you should. I hope your daughter had Tafeta is saying big producer. If you don't know who big producer on the channel is, our producer on the back end who normally keeps things organized for us. More so, he keeps the little producer, which is my son, in check. Okay, so so if you see any reference to big producer is not here at the moment, but big producer has French roots. Okay, so when we talk about Chantilly, he gets annoyed because he doesn't like the anglicized word Chantilly. He likes to say it in French, which is Chantilly or something like that. I don't know, people. I don't know. Okay. Well, Lollipop is proud of herself, darling, and so pleased how the cake ended up. I don't think I saw a photo of that. Did you post the photo, Lollipop? Did you put? Did you put it in the let's see. Did you put it in the community post? You are so welcome. We are so happy to help you, darling. We are so happy. And we are so pleased that you are here with us, okay? More on the panda cake. Maybe next year. Okay. Yep. I'll go and see. Is that it's in your community post final? Okay. I'll go and have a look. I've seen I saw the last photo I saw in the community post was when you had cram coated it. Okay. So I'll go back and check. But yes, whilst we're on the subject, who has baked with muscovado sugar? So over here, since we don't have the rest of the sugar, so let's try and make this work. We have muscovado sugar, both dark and light. We have brown sugar, both dark and light. We have coconut sugar, okay? We have icing sugar, and we have granulated sugar. I know most of you who have actually baked before would have been used to this kind of sugar, which is the castor or granulated, or sort of, is it fine granulated? So no. So between muscovado sugar, dark brown, light brown, who has baked with any of these sugar options before? Have you baked? What did you use it for? Because whilst look, while sugar is useful in baking, there are certain types of sugars that work better in certain bakes, okay? So if you've tried any of this sugar here, these sugar options that are on the table here, from muscovado, light brown, dark brown, to coconut sugar and icing sugar, if you've tried using them, what did you use them for, and what was your assessment or outcome of your bake? Leave that in the chat and let's see. Lollipop said, wow, the cake was heavy. Okay. No, Tapeta. Tapeta in the chat says her mom was going to get her some spatulas and some gel colors, and they wanted $99, almost $100 for shipping. No, where was mom shopping? Do you not have Amazon in the US? Tapeta. Because I cannot believe spatula. Why? A set of spatula and gel food colors, $100 for postage. Am I crazy? Because the way it works, I could just go on Amazon, right? I pay a subscription of $8.99 a month for my Amazon, and it's a business cost anyway. So if I wanted anything, I would just go on Amazon and then order it. And then because the $8.99 is for Prime. So if the item can be delivered on Prime delivery, if I ordered it today, as in before 11 p.m., chances are I would receive them some point tomorrow. And I don't pay any extra. I can order anything as long as my Prime subscription payment goes out. So why £100? No, despite the name coconut sugar, okay, it is made from palm sap, okay, palm sap. So no, the name coconut sugar is slightly misleading. I don't know why. Why is it called coconut sugar? Okay, let's find out. Why is coconut sugar? Oh, okay. It's the coconut palm. You know what? When oh dear. I'm Ghanaian. When I think palm, I don't think coconut palm tree. I think the palm nut, as in the small nuts that we use for soup. Okay, people? Okay, so yeah, it's made from the coconut palm sap. Okay, that's it. When I think, Google palm nut and you'll see what I mean. Okay, palm nut. Palm nuts, like I don't know how to explain it. It's a palm tree. Like, it looks like a coconut tree. It's tall to, it's grown in the tropics, and yeah, you have a cluster of fruits that looks the size of a large strawberry, and it's clustered like that. And then we take it out, cook it, pound it, and then make soup out of it. So that was what I was thinking, instead of actually thinking, oh, coconut palm. Okay, so yeah, coconut sugar is from the sap of coconut palm tree. Okay. Lady lately says, I love coconut oil, but I do note it on my ingredient just in case some. Yes. For me, much of the reasons why I don't, I'll tell you this: coconut sugar swapped for, say, brown sugar in banana loaf. Oh my God, it's intense. It's caramel-like. It is tasty. It is nutty. It's amazing. The difference is that with brown sugar, because you have the molasses, it's very intense a little bit. And talk about that. I made a banana bread. Is it a banana loaf? My latest video. It's a simple recipe for you to indulge in. Check it out. But yes, I only settled for brown sugar in that recipe simply because I wanted the recipe to be more accessible. But a tip here is that if you really want to get the best results in terms of taste, flavor, and mouthfeel, swap an amount of the sugar for coconut sugar when creaming. It is amazing. Okay, but of course I will not be serving this to the general public, because then you have the subject of allergy with some people who cannot tolerate that at all. So cookie, did you go and bake a cookie? Yeah, so lollipop, you see what I mean, the palm nut tree. That said, look at what I have on my table, right? So if you haven't seen the recent video, okay, just a quick note. The recent video is a banana, it's a banana loaf. Why am I blanking out? I've not eaten. I feel a little bit. I've not eaten. I haven't drank tea, and my cup is broken. By the way, let's leave that for a minute. It's a banana loaf we made, and yes, this is the type of banana you want to have. You want to make sure. So if you have overripe banana lying on the side and you want to use them, okay? And if not, and you're planning to make a banana loaf, get your banana, leave it on a side somewhere in a dark room, and let it overripe, because the more ugly and garish it looks, the better your banana bread. What am I going to do with this? Maybe if you weren't in the chat, you would never know. But the teacup is broken, darling. I tell you how it broke. Tapeta, you were out there sympathizing with me on the subject of my tea. Oh, look, was supposed to be. Look at me. I've gone off now. Okay, let's just leave it. Okay, right. I tell you what happened. See this right here. I told you my kitchen is small. This is a spice bottle anyway. I think this is thyme. So I went to make myself a drink. So the cup was here. The cup is broken, by the way. I threw it out. It was here. and I was trying to get something from the cupboard, and then this bottle right here fell because the bottle is here. I don't know if you can see. The bottle is here. It literally fell straight into the cup and smashed the up. So it fell into the cup with such force that the bottom of the cup ended up with a crack. And I didn't know it because I thought it had just grazed past the lip of the cup. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check the community post and you will see I posted. The thing with my cup here is that I love tea. And sometimes if you haven't been here before and this is your first time, welcome. We talk cakes, okay? But we also talk about some just silly small things for connection purposes. I love tea. I love tea. I live in England. I love tea, okay? So I got myself a teacup. No, I don't just love tea. I have quirks about my tea, okay? First of all, the tea has to be made in a big cup. I don't like your small 300 ml cup. It doesn't do anything for me. It has to be big old mug. So this was a mug I bought for myself, for my tea, as you can see. And then right on the live here, it fell and the handle broke. I'm like, okay, I'll buy myself another one. And then I went and I got myself a lovely one, which actually said, I am a tea addict in a good way. I love tea. Now tell me why this whole thing fell in my cup and broke it. So that's the story of me and my random teacup story. So now I don't have a specialty cup. I just have a regular cup. But who knows? Next time I go shopping, I might be looking for a big old mug and a specialty cup that would do my cup of tea. Okay? That's just a little portion of me and my tea. That said, the tea bag should... Darling, can I tell you? I went shopping yesterday, and if I show you the tea bag, I think I might as well show you. I'm coming. Since... Oh, you hold on. Tell me you love tea without telling me you love tea. This that's a massive bag. Yep, I love tea. That is a massive bag of tea. So people, you know I love my tea, okay? But I don't have a cup for the tea yet. Oh dear. No, the irregular bags, the irregular tea bags, it's just that the bag is just big. They're just regular tea bags. But I have to use two because I like my tea really strong. Last time I bought one of these in a Christmas sale. There's 440 tea bags. And I drink at... Why are my tea habits? I drink, let's say, about 3 to 4 cups a day. So if we pick... if we stick with an average of 4 cups being the maximum a day, that's 100 days. So that's about 3.5 months of tea. For me. But that doesn't factor in the fact that occasionally, well, 110 days of tea. But that doesn't factor in the occasional, the fact that occasionally I like to use 2 tea bags. So, yeah. So, let's say on average, you're looking at 2 to 3 months of tea, worth of tea. And I think that came up to about, is it £6 or something? So on a special sale. So that came to £6 or something like that. But yeah, I like Tetley's. I know Yorkshire Gold is amazing, but sis, we're not about to do that, okay? Tetley should be all right, okay? You drink cold tea. How are you? Right. Are we talking a big bag? Which tea do you drink cold? This one or something else? Because how does anyone drink cold tea? Wow. I don't like coffee, but big producer likes coffee anyway. I don't like coffee. Look at me. I'm boiling the kettle. The kettle is a bit noisy. So yeah, people, I told you. I was telling you some tea about the muffins. Well, I said about the muffins, about the banana bread. Let's finish making the cup of tea and I'll tell you all about that. Iced tea with lemon and sugar. You know what? The subject of tea is actually interesting, isn't it? Because I am kind of learning a lot about you guys and your tea habits. Lollipop, you're a coffee girl, right? No, I am tea. In the morning, some days, I have tried the black tea with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice and honey, but I think I prefer that in the morning by itself, as in a warm cup of water, a squeeze of lemon and honey. That's fine. But for tea, I just like my tea with milk. Oh, okay. Let's stir this into it. Okay. So, I was going to tell you the tea about the last video. Okay, let me tell you. It was supposed to be a long filming day. I had 2 videos to shoot, which would be a do-over of the muffin cakes. If you don't know what the messy muffins are, check on the long form video. You'll see the video before our last one. We made messy muffins. Okay, so go check it out. That was I was supposed to film 2 videos on the Saturday, but I was tired. Okay, but this is my job. I didn't want to let you down, so I'm like, okay, I will do one. And the banana loaf was the easiest. It was and if you notice, the takes are just straightforward. Okay, I don't have a script. I come to the kitchen and I film as if I'm talking to you people. Except I had a problem I didn't anticipate. Big producer loves banana loaf. So tell me why. I finished baking the cake. I left it on the countertop. I hadn't done the post-production shoot. The shoot where you cut into the cake and then you show it on camera and do all that stuff. And if you go back and watch that video, you will see that at the end of the video, I had sliced the cake like diagonally. But at the end of the video, I was slicing the cake like, as in, is it vertical or whatever? I was slicing it different. The reason being, before the post-production shoot, I left the cake to the side and big producer and his little producer came and gobbled half of the cake. So I only had half a cake to work with, which is why the thumbnail has cake that is cut and there's no a whole cake over there. There isn't. The reason being, somebody ate the cake before I could do the job. So I had to work with what I had. So we have the video. It's great. The recipe is amazing. But I'm just here to tell you, the cake was finished before I could even say hello. That's all. My dear, it was delicious. I will tell you that myself, okay? But delicious and good enough if I have nothing to show for it. If I am making a video for you people have to see it. And the cakes were gone. It was gone. So yeah, if you do go back and see the video, I'm talking about the banana loaf video. If you go and see the video, you will see what I mean. You will see that when I cut into the cake, in the post-production, as in by the end of the video, the cutting was different. You didn't get to see the cake whole again. You only saw the whole cake at the start of the video. And that's because it was gone. It was gone. That tells you the recipe is simple and it's still a great cake. So go check it out. But yeah, we are going to utilize this bananas here for a muffin chocolate chip, a banana chocolate chip muffin. My dear. Oh, one last thing before we leave. Lollipop, come here. I know you're doing the school run. Lollipop, tell everybody how amazing the cream was. If you've been here, you would know when we made the cream cheese frosting for the cheat style cream cheese frosting we made for the carrot cake that I couldn't stop eating. Okay? I couldn't stop eating the cream. Lollipop, come tell everybody how amazing it was. Lady lately has a question in the chat. She says, Gladys, how do you stay so trim and slim tasting all that cake? Do I? Do I? Have you seen me? There is a God. Lately, that's my answer. There is a God who makes all things beautiful. Oh Lord, he makes all, you know that song, he makes all things beautiful. Beautiful for me. He makes all things beautiful. You know what? I've actually put on weight. Okay? I used to be an American size 6, 4 to 6, and the UK 6 to 8. Very slim. But you know what? I like me. It's all right. It's all right. Okay? There is God. It's all right. We still look good and we roll. Okay? I won't tell you I do anything specific. I guess ultimately the truth is it's the genes. Okay? The genes. My daddy had a slender physique. So there's something to the good Lord and the genes, okay? But I do like to go for walks. I don't keep up with the habit, so I won't lie to you. It's not a consistent habit that I keep. But I'm also aware that this job I do over here for the love of you people, it's a risk to my health. So I try to make the effort, and I'm very aware that there's a privilege I have to gobble all this stuff here. But you know what? I love you guys for just supporting me, okay? There is a God, that's all. Lollipop, let the man be, okay? Let him live. Tapeta says she's gained half a pound discussing just the sugar, okay? Tapeta, don't you worry. For the love of me, let's just do another half, shall we? By the way, can we all remember we came here to talk about sugar? And then we all got drunk on the sugar and then we moved on. That's how we roll over here. But if we recap, we know sugar adds sweetness, tenderizes, adds color, helps with the structure of a cake. There are various types of sugars and their uses in baking. I ordered the some of them. It didn't come. So we'll probably be touching on this subject again another day, okay? Maybe perhaps tomorrow we should come back and bake. I don't know. I don't know if I want to bake tomorrow, but I will keep you posted in the community post, whatever we're doing, people. It is nearly 2 p.m. UK time. Let's call it a day, okay? And we'll be back tomorrow morning. Let's see. I said tomorrow morning, same time tomorrow. Lollipop, stop bemoaning the poor man. Let him eat what he wants to eat. We have many. You know what? I am not even mad about the tangents, because you know what? Sometimes it's great to catch up whilst also digesting the useful information. For the new people, one last request. If you haven't liked the video, do consider liking the video. Join the community here. We support each other. If you haven't noticed, the chat was fun. And it's always great to be here. Catch our most recent video in long form where I make a banana loaf. The story of the banana loaf eating before I even did the post-production elements of it. I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.